Good morning, YouTube. Today, we're finally gonna start doing some modifications to my Ferrari 458. Got a few things I wanna do. One of them is kind of a lingering thing that we already did halfway, and the other one is something new that I think you guys are gonna like. I think it's gonna make the car look a little bit better. You guys will enjoy this. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
So that deputy got you guys at 106.
So if you didn't know, I already installed half of an Escort 360 Ci radar detector, laser jammer, whatever system. This is the second half, so this is the half that goes on the rear. And I didn't install it before because in order to install this, we're gonna have to pull off the under trays and wire it underneath the car all the way to the rear bumper. So I was kind of dragging my feet and waiting until the next time that I had to remove all the rear stuff, including the rear bumper. So the other thing is, in this glorious box right here. Oh yes. Yes. Oh yeah. All black tips instead of the, I guess it's chrome, kind of discolored, whatever it is. We basically do have to remove the diffuser and stuff, but I'm probably just gonna pull the whole bumper. First thing we need to do is get the car jacked up and get the wheels removed, because in order to remove the bumper, we have to remove the wheel liners, and then there's some screws on the back here. And we're gonna have to pop the front. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of stuff. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. I got the quick jacks in place. Double check, make sure everything's aligned correctly. So to remove the under tray, we first got to remove the diffuser. It's a bunch of 10 millimeters and a couple of Allen screws, and then we got this under tray that's a pain in the butt. And we'll probably have to raise and lower the car once to get, so we get full access. Okay, got the under tray off. Well, bad news. I don't think we can remove the exhaust tips unless we remove the bumper. So you can get to the lower bolts to run 2, 3, but the upper bolts are actually behind the structure of the bumper, the actual metal frames. By the way, if you ever want to know why everything on the Ferrari, when they do it at the shop, costs so much, it's because just removing that stupid under tray takes you 30 minutes, 20 minutes at a minimum, just because there's so many bolts and you have to jank around with these stupid air ducts. Go Ferrari. We're gonna remove the wheels since we gotta get the wheel liners off in order to remove the bumper. Gotta unscrew all the Allens on the wheel liner. There's a bunch of them. Wheel liners are off. Now there's 3 bolts on each side. 1, 2, 3, and all the wiring harnesses are on the other side. So let's get these bolts off on this side, then go disconnect the wiring harnesses, get the bolts on that side. Getting the tail lights out too, just because I can't really get to that third bolt very well. We gotta take out the taillight just to get to that bolt right there that holds on the bumper. So you can see on the driver's side, we've got the wiring harnesses. So there's one for the lights, one for the parking sensors. There's one. There we go. Disconnect the wiring harness on this light. Get the light out, now we gotta get these bolts that hold on the bumper off. I think that's it. There we go. There. Sweet. So you can see, changing out the exhaust tips is just those 5 bolts right there. Ta-da! Oh yeah, That's gonna look so much better than those. Oh, that looks sweet. And in you go. Now that we got the exhaust tips done, it's time to move on to the radar detector. So basically, the radar detector is already mounted under the front trunk. So we're gonna pull off those panels and then see if we can run the wires down through the trunk, out the bottom of the car, and then kind of wrap it around where the under tray panels are, kind of zip tie it to the frame away from the heat. That's the problem, is you got a lot of hot stuff down there, so we got to avoid the exhaust. There's some other wiring that we can kind of follow, I think. Zip tie it along there, get it all the way. It's gonna be a little bit tricky, but I think we'll be able to do it. So we have to remove this piece and that piece, and basically I have it mounted right in here, zip tied up. So all the wires are already zip tied in this area right here. Come on. There's the bundle of wires. We just gotta figure out which ones it is. So obviously it's like these ones that aren't connected to anything else. For the actual radar detector, I think this is gonna be the best location because this side has a fan and I don't want to get in the way of the fan since that's obviously gonna have some active cooling versus this one's not gonna have any active cooling. Basically we're gonna just mount it onto this piece of plastic down here. For the laser jammer detector things, I might just mount them way out here, kind of where the tail light is. I think that might be the best location. That way it's not actually going through the bumper and we don't have to worry about messing with the wiring anytime we have to pull the bumper in the future. And then I can kind of just run the wires along the bottom side where all this other stuff is. There we go. It's kind of mounted nicely. I think that's pretty stable. It's not going to bounce around a whole lot. Should be shooting right through the grill right there. Actually, I like that spot so much. I think I am going to put the other ones on these little plastic pieces just because it's going to be so easy to deal with instead of having to try and mount them way down there below through the vents. Plus then I'd have to mess up with the carbon fiber. I'd rather drill plastic than screw up my carbon fiber. We got the itty bitty screws. Tiny teeny screws. And I have to drill a pilot. This actually clips in and then has these two adjustment holes. So I need to get it just right to clip into those way down here. Gotta screw on, again, these tiny teeny screws. Now I can adjust it up and down. Do the same thing on this side. Left side and the right side installed. Now it's time to route the wires all the way up to the front of the car and somehow get them up there. I got the wires tucked in along the back of the bumper and then kind of bundled up right there. That way I've got quick connects back here if I ever need to disconnect them. And then I have them going up over the wheel arch, and then right now they're sticking down there. So now we got to go under the car, pull off the bottom trays and get it all the way up there to the front door. Alright, so I got the wires run up through the side channel, and now I need to pull this fender liner so I can get them run up the fender to here. The one wire needs to go into the cockpit and connect to the actual box, and then the other wires come up here, connect to these ends right there. It turns out I'm not going to have to pull the wheel well because I ran my wire puller and look at that, it popped out right there. So I'm just going to tape the wires to the wire puller, strap them all the way up here, it'll come out here, and then I can run the wires where they need to go. Got the laser wires wrapped, bundled up and run along the previous wires so they're nice and tight. Got the other wire run through the door. Can't even really see it. It kind of runs up in there. Yeah, there you can see it. Goes under the dash and connects to the unit. So now the rear radar detector and the rear sensors are connected. Now comes the wonderful chore of putting all this stuff back on the car. So yeah, we got the trunk back together, wiring's all nice and hidden. So the way this works is, if you notice right there and there and there, there's these little like notches. Those notches actually sit right on these little tabs right there, and right here, and right here, right there. Basically, you kind of line it just right onto those tabs, and it kind of pops on. Once those are on, basically the bumper is holding itself, and then we can take our time and screw in these 3 bolts. So it's a little bit tricky at first, and of course this thing's not exactly light. Well, all that work, and it turns out the stupid radar detector is sitting below, as is the laser detector, jammer thingy, whatever. So that's not going to work. You have to pull the bumper back off. Alright, so here's the problem. It needs to be at least 2 inches high and 4 inches from this post. And in order to do that, this is the typical mounting bracket, and it's not going to work. These are the other mounting brackets, which are designed to do like a reverse mount, but these are too big. So as you can see, if I stuck these in, they're gonna end up hitting the grate. So what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna use the Sawzall, and I'm gonna actually cut this piece off and then that piece off, and then just use these 2 end pieces. So that way it's basically 2 vertical mounts. Inches. Hey Moses.
Moses?
Are you trying to help me work on the car?
You're no help.
Yeah. Just gonna smell some stuff, maybe chew on some things. Yeah.
And you shop dog. Shop dog in training. You're naughty. Ugh. He's tired.
Yeah, he's a fussy pup. Oh. He's so
Fussy.
cute. You're so cute, buddy.
Ugh.
Alright, there we go. So I know the instructions said not to mount these vertically, but yeah, I don't care anymore. I'm mostly interested in having the rear radar, because, you know, a cop is more likely to be coming up behind you with a radar going while they're driving. The chances are they're not going to laser you from behind very often, and frankly, whenever they laser you, you're kind of screwed anyway. Now we can put on the bumper. Got to throw on the tail lights. Done. Put in the fender liners. These are always a little bit of a pain in the butt, to be honest. Just gotta get them just right. Alright, so on the driver's side, we gotta remember to reconnect our cables. There we go. And now putting the wheels back on. So now, in order to get the bottom tray on, we have to drop the car, get the jack out of the way, slide it under and put these little vent things up in there. After the bottom tray, we got the diffuser, and then oh my lord, we are done. All right, gotta go up first. And now release the locks. And now we go down. Under tray's on. Yeah, I gotta torque the wheel, so. All right, all done. It took about 8 hours, so way longer than I was hoping, just because I think all that bottom tray stuff and then rejigger all the stupid sensors, but ended up looking pretty good. So you can kind of see there's the sensor right there. They're not super obvious unless you're specifically looking for it. This one has a sticker. I probably should have pulled that sticker off, but I don't really care. I mean, it's still pretty well hidden. And then of course, look at that, the new exhaust pipes, all black. Yes, that looks so good. Yes, look at that. Oh yeah, way better than the silver pipes. Technically the first mod I've done to this car. I mean, I installed the radar detector before, but now it's complete. And then of course the exhaust pipes. First modifications, everyone was like, oh, you gotta do something to it. So there you go. There's something done to the car. The metal tips or the black tips, what do you think? I think considering it's already got the black wheels and the black accents, the black tips just make it look way cooler. A little bit more sinister too. We've got a couple more modifications I want to do to it pretty soon. You guys are gonna really appreciate some of these. We're gonna take it to the dyno, get tuned. And of course, we got an exhaust. We need to do an exhaust in this thing. It needs to be louder. It needs to scream. You bet your butt. We're gonna be putting in an X pipe. Josh and I have been working on a plan for that, so you're really gonna wanna see that. If you like these DIY projects, you can help me out by liking these videos, subscribing to my channel, sharing these videos, and if you really have the means, you could go to bit.ly/NGS support. That link will send you to my website, and actually you can donate to my DIY causes. I know you're like, oh man, why am I gonna give you money? You got a Ferrari. Well, YouTube doesn't exactly make much money. In fact, I'm losing a lot of money. So every time I do these projects, I'm losing money. Hopefully, I'm gonna start actually making money with YouTube soon, but until then, I could use your guys' help. Either way, just watching these videos and liking them, I genuinely appreciate that. So thank you, please keep doing that. So we're gonna be doing a lot of car stuff. You guys are gonna wanna stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.